Alright, almost home from the Conestoga 10 miler today out in like Hopewood or whatever it is, PA, which is like 3.5 or 3 hours from my house. It didn't go as planned. Definitely could have did better today. Haven't really slept well the last 2 nights. Yesterday I actually did Tough Mudder Pittsburgh, and I froze the whole time, and I think it just sucked all the energy out of my body. Maybe gave me a little bit like of a pneumonia in my lungs, because they definitely were heavy from yesterday. Still now, like, yeah, not hard to breathe, but definitely feel like heavier, not taking in oxygen like they should. But you can probably see to my eyes, I got some like baggage going on. But I don't know, I probably wasn't really feeling it. I know I wasn't feeling it to start. I was looking forward to it because I saw some Zach Miller and Matt Lipsy were signed up, and I was like, oh man, I finally get to race them again. Not really race them, but you know, maybe try to keep my eye on them for at least a minute before they just jet. It's always like good to compare yourself to like 2 of the best in the world. See what you can do, like see how they do on the course, and then see how much farther back you are than them, just as like gauge. But they didn't come today. Zach was there though, helping out. Where we stayed last night, it was like a 45-minute drive. Another hotel with random people's hair and dirty sheets, so that was interesting. And no lock on the bathroom door. Got there at plenty of time this morning, probably like 8:10, 8:15 range. Buses, well, pre-race speech was what, like 9:05 maybe. Yeah, then we got on the buses and headed out like 9:20, and got to the start area at like 12. I think it was like 12 minutes till. So if you had a pee or poop, get one last one in. It was sort of a rush. Registration was pretty easy, even though you had to walk a little over a 1/10 from the parking because it's limited there. But it was pretty quick registration. The pre-race speech, the emphasis was on using the bathrooms that were actually provided and not randomly peeing or whatever around the campsites that where the start line is, because it's like a 20-minute drive, or I don't know, I can't remember how long of a drive it is away. But there's like a campground is where we started at, so like we were using like some private property today. To keep permission, we were supposed to use the bathrooms. I ended up using the women's because the women were all done and there was still a line for the guys. No shame in that. I'll identify as somebody else for 2 minutes if somebody has an issue with that. But anyway, the pre-race speech, other than that, was if you're allergic to bees, take an EpiPen and Benadryl. It was like a requirement because they told us there's bees on the course, and there's supposedly like signs. He said there was like signs saying bees ahead or something, like, I forget how he worded it, but he just basically said there were signs where the bees were, known bees were. So it's like, fuck you guys, we know where they're at, but we're not going to take care of them. So that was kind of like a funny moment. But as you're going to the start, you might walk another like 1/10 or so, or 2/10 from where we got dropped off to the start line. Well, in that like 2/10, like maybe 40 yards from the start line, there was actually like a bee's nest on this like little access road where we lined up at. And I was just like, oh man, this is how the day is going to be. I'm definitely getting stung, but luckily I didn't all race. I know some other people did. I don't know if it was at the start or just during the race. I'm not sure. So I just found that interesting. you know, when they talk about bees and then there's bees like right before the, like getting to the start, it's just like, is this, you know, you don't want the race to be like that, but it also adds an element of surprise, I guess. So we did like a quick, I did like the first mile or something was like 270 feet, I think, a gain. But here it like, it sort of took me out of the mental state right away. There was like 6 or 7 of us that took off. And I was within, well, I was whatever, 6th or 7th in that group. I was like the back of it, not knowing the course. I didn't want to jet out, you know, and go the wrong way or hurt myself because I didn't know what to expect. I was going to let other people do the work, you know, following the ribbons and the course. But I got taken out mentally right away in that first mile because you ended up looping back around down this first hill that we go to. So you're coming towards the masses going up the hill, which I was just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, is this how they're, like, I never ran this race and I was like, is this really how it's gonna be today? Like, we're gonna do like a couple of these? Because like, since I was behind like the lead, like the 4 or 5 in front, like everybody got back on the trail. So like when I came through, I more or less had like plowed my way again. But then from there, that was like the only time we did that. So it wasn't really that bad. And then I kept view of the lead guys for another half mile or so until we got to like some different hills, and I got stuck behind some guys and got slowed up. I'm trying to think here. But yeah, then like after that loop, we were pretty much bushwhacking for like 2 miles. When I say bushwhacking, we weren't really on a trail. We were basically just running through the woods, and they just put flags up, and it sort of like deflated me a little bit more because I was just like, are we gonna be doing this for like the rest of the 9 miles? I was like, this ain't gonna be fun for me. Like, not in the course or what we were gonna be doing. I was just like, please don't be like this the rest of the way. I know one dude went off course a little bit because he was above us, me and this other guy, and then he came back down. And then I had 2 on my butt for half a mile or so, and then I stepped off because I just didn't want the pressure of 2 people right, like they were on my ass, and I didn't want the pressure of those guys trying to push me or felt pressure, or because if I fell, all 3 of us were probably going down. So I just stepped off and let them go around, which is probably the smarter move because I relaxed a lot more, was able to like recover from going out like hard with that first group, which I probably went out harder than I should have, even though I thought I was more than capable of doing better today. But it also would have helped me later on in the race by not going as hard out the gate because I didn't really warm up at all. I would say the race is very technical and very dangerous. There's a lot of rocks that you're climbing up and over, and dangerous because some of these rocks are like angled down the hills and slopes, or even like the creek beds, but they're not just single like small rocks, or you know, that you can just put 1 foot on. You actually have to commit like 2 or 3 steps on. They're big, like we'll call them like 6x6 boulders, and the way they're angled, if you don't have like good traction, you're going down and you're gonna like hurt yourself. There was a bunch of those today, so I did lose a bunch of time like that, just not wanting to like fully commit in case they were slick, because there was some slick ones out there that I did slip a little bit, so I didn't want to get hurt. There's also like 100, I had to have jumped over roughly 100 logs today. So like I'd get momentum and then I'd have to slow down because I'm jumping over a log in the actual like runnable sections. And even like when we were bushwhacking, we're ducking down and weaving. There was a couple even like sets of vines that could have been really good ankle catchers because they were setting up almost knee height. Luckily I didn't trip today. I don't know how I didn't fall or face plant into anything or get hurt. It was kind of a miracle. I'm trying to get all the bad or the things like to be upfront about before I get to the good stuff. I know the course markings were a little scarce because we were more or less following the red on the trees. But like when we were bushwhacking, it got a little bit better because obviously you had to know where you're going. But again, for the most part, we're following red, so you didn't need to mark it as much, except for like intersections, which at times could be questionable. You definitely had an advantage if you knew the course. If you knew the course, no matter what skill level you are, over somebody that didn't know the course, I would give you at least a minute and a half overall, all race long per mile. So between 10 and 15 minutes easily if you knew the course compared to somebody that didn't. If you're at the same skill level, like you just, to me, I would give that person the advantage by that much. Just because you don't know what to expect or where to turn it on or, you know, pull back because you know this is coming type deal. Unless you're just one of those balls to the walls people that just doesn't care. But yeah, I lost the first grouping after I let those couple people pass me. I never saw them again. Let me see. I did catch the one guy that I let pass. The other one I didn't. I caught them at like 6.5 range. Actually, I caught 2 on the 6.5 mile mark. I'll get to that in a minute. We did bushwhack some more around like 8.5 to like 9.5 or 9.7 range. I know there was some course rerouting this year. I guess the Conservancy or something they have out there was doing some work and whatever, so they had to reroute, so that might be why we were bushwhacking. But early on, like the trails that we were supposed to be on weren't like really, I guess, taken care of. It's probably because they just don't have the permission to. Just something I'm not personally used to. I mean, it's not a big deal. It adds like another challenge, I guess, and whatnot. But I guess my biggest complaint was the bushwhacking and like the rocks that we were climbing on. I just felt like it was kind of dangerous. And that first, like that first mile loop back, I was just like, can we just not have to do that again? But all right, so that's out of the way. Now to get to like the good, it was fun and challenging course. There was a lot of places where you could see some really good views. That's one of the things that I wish, well, I guess was a downfall to running it, is I didn't get to actually enjoy the views that the people who designed the course actually like put you by, because I couldn't just stop and waste time like looking at them. I wish I would have, I don't know, I wish a lot of things today, but one of the things is I wish I could actually video the race course, which I was going to. Just have fun today and just video it for reference. Because I'm telling you, like, some of these views that you wouldn't have been able to see, like, you would have been able to see like miles and miles, and like just glancing real quick. it looked beautiful. So I would have liked to have taken that in more. There was always people at these views that were trying to get to these views to see the things. So right there just tells you they obviously are nice. We did run it down and up a couple of creek beds. I know it looked pretty cool. I enjoyed that. There was probably 4 or 5 times I think we ran across creeks, and it actually felt really nice, like ankle deep. It was like a cool water. It was just a little bit refreshing. I just splashed it up and on my face real quick as I ran through. But on the creek beds that we were running on, some of them, the first couple were actually like really technical, and again had those like dangerous rocks. The back half ones weren't actually bad. Of course, we were more running up those ones. That's where I made like a lot of good time back up. Yeah. So I wasn't really feeling it till about 6.5. I think it's when that hill was before like the aid station at 7. That's when actually, to me, I want to say I fully woke up. I finally woke up and motivated, that like 6.5 mile mark, and I was like, oh, congratulations, finally waking up. Where were you like an hour ago? I really could have used that awakeness early on and energy early on when I was just dragging my ass around. So that definitely cost me a bunch today. But you'll have that. I think it was just like a hangover from yesterday. Just trying to get my body motivated to actually do anything. Because once I did that on that 6.5, when I passed those 2, I actually was reeling in the one guy for a couple miles. Like on the hills, I was just gradually getting closer and taking him over. And I knew when I wanted to on a hill, I could take him. But I thought it was just too early yet to even put a move on, because if there was like a really technical downhill like right afterwards, he would have just passed me up because I just didn't want to get hurt. So I was trying to play it smart and let him also do the work of paying attention to flaggings, so I could pay more attention to my foot placement. So if I could watch my foot placement and just see him at the corner of my eye ahead or where he's turning, it saves me a lot of energy and kept me safer. Got brake. But he caught another dude, and then that like 6.5 mile hill, I passed them both. I just started goading it after that. Like I was actually like running the hills, not just walking them. Early on, I did like the like the quick walk that I have up the hill, the impatient father technique that I like to use or call it. But then after 6.5, I was actually more jogging and running up the hills, just trying to gap everybody behind me, since I had the energy. Use it while you have it, I guess. But then there was a couple nice, like, I guess access road sections after that mile 7 aid station. And that's when I really turned it on and like really started making up some time. So I don't know what happened after that. And then after that, like hitting mile 8, there were some big technical declines. Then I kept looking back behind me, waiting for one of them to catch back up. And then mile 9, like 8.5 to 9 was that bushwhacking section again to the finish. I mean, there was some really good runners there today. I enjoyed the competition, even though I didn't do well. The volunteers were good. I didn't really spend much time at the aid stations because I carried my naked belt with me, so I didn't really need to stop much. I think I just grabbed a quick gulp at the first aid station at Tailwind, and then the second one I might have spent like 10 seconds at. Drank some Coke real quick just to keep the gas out of my stomach. I didn't take any food. My time was about like a 144, 145. I was trying to shoot for like a 150 to 155 today, so I did better than I thought I was going to. But again, that could have been another 10-15 minutes lower if I knew the course, or even if I felt better today. Maybe even 20 minutes lower, which would have put me near the top, if not the top. We'll see, because I'm already thinking about going back next year for redemption and actually try a little bit harder. But you never know what the conditions will be the next year, because if it's wet, I wouldn't want to do that course with those rocks. But if it's dry, I definitely would like to attempt it again. Afterwards was pretty nice. They had some hoagies for everybody, a bunch of pop. There's a bunch of beer for people, some chips, some cookies. You know, I got to talk to maybe like 15-20 different people. So that was nice. People I never met before, just, you know, talking to them. Very friendly crowd, and like an encouraging crowd. I guess overall, I mean, I definitely like the course. It'll definitely make me better down the road, having done it. It's a good experience. Again, very technical. 3,000 feet in 10 miles. You know, I wouldn't really say there's any flat sections at all during the race, except for maybe like the first 50 to 100 meters. And that might be stretching it. Other than that, you're going up or you're going down. There's no, there's no flat. So if you're looking to do this, take that into consideration, that you have no real flat if you're a flat recoverer. Whereas me is I'm more of a hill recoverer, or downhills I definitely recover 100%. Whereas like going uphill, it take, you know, like I never get to that, like maybe like the 80% level, just because I'm burning so much going up. But yeah, the medal they gave out was pretty cool. I forget what the quote is on the back. Something about giving your best. But on the front, it has the course profile on it, which is pretty cool. So you just see like I guess you want to call it like a heartbeat rhythm type looking thing on the front, because that's what we're doing all day long, going up and down, so it almost looks like a heartbeat monitor type thing. And it was pretty thick and heavy. The shirts looked pretty cool. Again, you definitely get your money's worth, because it's a point-to-point race, and you get bussed there. I mean, you get good food afterwards. You actually get to race, and again, the finisher's medal and the t-shirt. I mean, I think it's one hell of a bargain. It's a good time. I don't know what else. I mean, I would definitely look into it if you're interested in something hard in a shorter distance, like that 10 miles. You definitely get a good workout, and to be able to see like where you stand and where your training's at. So it's a good test. Again, you're going up with a lot of good competition. If you want some competition, not everybody does. Guess that's about it. Race director seemed nice. Well, the new one seemed nice, and then even the old one, I guess this new one took over last year or this year or something. They both seem like really great people. They had some cool overall awards for the runners today. It was like a wooden, thick-ass wooden, like, plaque with that course profile on it, like etched in a metal plating. So that was really cool. Yeah, so they didn't like skimp on anything like that. I just thought of something, then I forgot it. Damn it. Oh, it was kind of weird because even though I was 6th overall, top 6, and it might even be top 7, like the guy behind me, I can't remember how old he was, but the top 6 were all like in the 30 to 39 year range. Me being the oldest at 6. So that was kind of weird and kind of sucky at the same time because it groups us all together and, you know, not spacing out like the age group awards. But a couple of my friends got some cool age group awards today. But all my friends, let me see, I had 4, yeah, like 7 friends there today. So it was a nice nice crowd from like the Johnstown area that came and did the race 3 hours away. I don't know. Other than that, I would say I would recommend the race. If you can get out there, I would definitely do it. I'm already looking forward to next year, but it's going to be one of those things. The conditions next year will dictate what I do. If it's dry conditions, I'll race it. If it's wet, I'll just go and video it so people can see how nice the course is and how beautiful the views are. But oh well. Maybe also next year, maybe I won't do a Tough Mudder the day before and completely drain myself, or maybe I'll actually get some sleep so I could actually perform better. Maybe those two things would, you know, be a good key to do.